We just witnessed another stormy week in Indian politics where the government and opposition not only went head to head in parliament, but a lot has been said in the media and in the public domain. The BJP is currently the government at the center, and 2023 is going to be a year where we will see many state elections, and we're exactly a year away from that crucial election in 2024. I'd like to welcome back Shweta Shalini, who is the spokesperson for the BJP and an expert in rural transformation and policy. Shweta is also an entrepreneur and TED speaker, and it's a real pleasure to have her back because she's going to be discussing a topic where we would really love to hear the BJP's perspective. And, I wanted to start this interview off, Shweta, by asking you what you made of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We've heard a couple of voices from the Congress here on Swell where they say that, this Yatra is going to transform Rahul Gandhi's image and, really strengthen the Congress's organization. Be that as it may, I'd really like to know what you think of this Yatra and what you think the impact could be. And, if you think that this might really pose a threat to the BJP at all. My second question is with regard to Maharashtra. How do you see the performance of the Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis-led government over the course of the last year or so, especially since they formed the government? And what do you make of accusations about, jobs being shifted to Gujarat and, this whole rivalry between Gujarat and Maharashtra being kind of amplified after Mr. Shinde took over as chief minister? I'll follow that up with a couple of other questions, but once again, Shweta, it's very nice of you to agree to give us time here on Swell, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your points of view on these two questions.
Thank you, Karan, and I hope I'm using the app right. I hope you guys can listen to me. Though I had the app downloaded, looks like you guys need to invite me more often, or in fact, I need to use the app more often because it looks like I'm missing out a lot of conversations. Coming back to what you asked, see, Bharat Jodo Yatra, yes, was a good PR campaign. In fact, your app asked me to include a picture. I've included the picture of how many times the Time magazine or various efforts have been actually made to rebrand Rahul Gandhi. When I did my marketing, it was my teachers taught us that, especially my marketing teacher taught us that when your product is bad, how much ever you try to position the product, you will have to modify the product. Now, unfortunately, just modifying the product, especially in a political field, is not by growing a mustache or a beard. Uh, so there are two ways I would want to answer this question. One, as a BJP spokesperson, and second, as a layman or a citizen or a voter. Now, first, let me pick up as a citizen or a voter. Now tell me, whenever I do an activity, there has to be an outcome. What exactly was the outcome of this entire yatra? The yatra started, he started doing the yatra, morning 2 hours, evening 2 hours, or a couple of more hours, 2 to 3 hours in the morning. In the evening, he started doing that. He chose a route which did not have election states. When he came to Maharashtra, where his government was there, he did not touch upon the places where, his government actually did anything. He did not go to Gujarat, where the election was going on while he was doing the yatra. So, having said that, you need to understand as a layman, I want to, when I look at an activity like this, I look at it only as a PR activity. Yes, there were good interviews. There were, there were million of views on where he worked, what he did, what he wore, which shirt he wore, the Burberry shirt, how much did it cost, and so on and so forth. But for a layperson like me, for a layman like me, I wanted to understand if the government is doing any mistakes. That's what the opposition is for. If he would have met people who have not got benefited from a certain scheme, if he would have gone to certain areas where Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is not being implemented, if he would have met people who are crying for help, he did not do that. All we saw were pictures of women crying on his shoulder and holding hands. All he said was he was walking for love, and that's what we saw. As a BJP spokesperson, I kept wondering why he was only holding hands of all kinds of women, and mostly women who come from media fields, women who have large fan following. And what was the need of inviting such people while walking? What did he achieve? And last but not the least, I do not think it is absolutely going to make a difference, because Rahul Gandhi says that he has killed himself. He's killed Rahul Gandhi. I don't know what that meant, but whatever it is, he's definitely killed the Congress, because if you actually look at the outcome of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, especially in Maharashtra, his state president has resigned. He's not coming to parties now. Balasaheb Thorat, who's such a senior leader, is having issues internally with other leaders like Nana Patole. And similar things you can see in Rajasthan, where his top leadership is fighting. You saw it in Punjab. So in spite of everyone fighting internally, he's walking. So I would rather call it the Johnny Walker trend. Yes, it did set a trend, but I would rather say that it just is a wrong trend, because I don't think it really helped him politically, and it will rather help him politically at all. So thank you so much, Karan, for your second question. I'm going to take the second question here. This Sarkar I call as ED Sarkar, which is Eknath Shinde and Devendra ji's Sarkar. Today is a good day as well, because it is Eknath ji's birthday. Now this auto wala turned Karyakarta turned Balasaheb cadre turned chief minister is somebody who appreciates the position that he is in. He is, today morning when I sent him birthday wishes and on Twitter and said happy birthday to the most approachable chief minister of Maharashtra, he replied to me saying that thank you so much for your warmest of the wishes. Now that is the kind of man we've got today. He understands, appreciates the position that he's come from, because he's struggled for this position, and that is what adds value to a state, because when the leadership understands the value of the opportunity that lies in front of him. Unfortunately, Maharashtra saw 2.5 years of a very unnatural alliance. The three parties that came together, especially during COVID times, and was led through lethargy, unfortunately, did only a couple of things. One, they stopped all development projects. So right from bullet train to the metro, to the coastal road, to all development projects that you actually saw being started were held back. And second, what they primarily did was sit at home and do Facebook Live. Now, unfortunately, when your state is suffering, when your people are dying, when Corona is knocking at the door, your leaders, your people representatives need to be on the road. They need to be serving people. Unfortunately, it was bad times, and we saw a chief minister who was not completely fit. And that's one of the reasons why when Eknath ji and Devendra ji's Sarkar came in, one of the biggest challenges was to fill in the gap that had been created for the last 2.5 years. And that is something that probably this Sarkar is actually focused on doing. If you see right from Samriddhi Mahamarg and its extension up to Goa to the metro, which was launched, to a lot of work which is happening in Bombay today. If you people are staying in Bombay, you will realize that every now and then, every monsoon, we are talking about potholes in the road. Now 400 kilometers of roads are being concretized.
Shweta, thank you so much for going into such great detail with regard to both those questions. But just to follow up, and we'll draw this conversation to a close, because this is a rapid fire chat. And I was wondering what you think the Indian public should take away when it comes to some of the articles that are doing the rounds now in with regard to the economy and the crisis that we might be facing with big business. Without naming a specific group and getting into the details, just in terms of anyone who is a skeptic right now and is kind of worried about what's going on, what would you say in terms of the resilience of the Indian economy and people who really invest in the stock market? Uh, how would you reassure the everyday person who is worried about some of the news that's been coming out over the last couple of weeks?
So I wanted to continue because every time that a call comes in, uh, my thought breaks. This Sarkar, Maharashtra Sarkar, that has now come in is a double engine Sarkar. So what you actually see is a Sarkar that is supported by the center, and hence the growth rate is going to be maximum. So what we see, for example, let me take the latest example of the budget. If you actually look at the budget, there is almost a provision of about 13,000 crores to about 15,000 crores that has been made specifically for the state of Maharashtra. So if you actually look at the Vidarbha Marathwada irrigation project, it has received about 400 crores. If you actually look at various roads, including the roads in areas, urban cities and rural cities have received about 1,000 odd crores. If you actually look at climate resilient agriculture has received about 600 odd crores. The different metros like the Pune metro, the Nagpur metro, the Mumbai metro has received about 1,200 crores, 500 crores of Mumbai metro, and about 100 crores of Nagpur metro. If you look at the MUTP project of Mumbai, it has received about 163 crores. Now, bullet train has received about 2,000 odd crores. Now, the focus in the next 2.5 years is not only to cover up the lost 2.5 years, but also to finish, to get Maharashtra to number one position back again, because there was a time where Maharashtra was getting almost 50% of the FDI that was coming into India. And I used to always say that Maharashtra may be 50% of FDI, but 100% of hope. Today, we are not only racing against time, but we are also competing with other states. We want to set the agenda and create the $1 trillion economy and give a blueprint to the country and the different states. Now, that is exactly what we intend to do in the next 2.5 years. We intend to work. If you actually look at the timelines, the Twitter handles of either the chief minister or the deputy chief minister, you will realize that one moment they are in Nagpur, then they are in Pune, then they are in Mumbai, then they are in Marathwada, then they are in Solapur, they are in Kolhapur, they are in Konkan, they are everywhere. They are in Delhi. They are taking approvals. They are working day in and day out on the road with the people to ensure that the fastest of the deliveries can be made. Thank you, Karan. That's a fantastic question. And let me be very quick on this one. Uh, Two things. Yes, you have not named the large group, but I'm going to name it Adani. And let me tell you very, very clearly, India is a growing economy. We have come from the fifth. From a position where we were the 10th in the size of budget in 195 countries. Now we are the fifth largest economy. Also, if you actually look at the countries who are our neighbors, inflation has grown to about 302% in Sri Lanka. The FDI reserves of Bangladesh has actually come to zero. Pakistan, 1 liter petrol costs about 280 odd rupees. The world over is looking for a China plus one strategy. China, the daily labor wages is almost about $1,200. In India, that labor charge is about $150. We have a huge scope in the world today. We are growing. We will be the next superpower. Our economy is extremely strong because fundamentally we are working towards ensuring that our fundamental things are right. Our roads are connected. We are making almost 200 kilometers of road a day, and that's when your country gets connected. We are working on broadband. If you look at future technologies, then 5G, the innovation labs. We are about 90,000 startups today in the country, with the number of unicorns growing. There is money which is pouring in from across the globe because people know that this is where business is not only going to survive, but it's also going to grow. The 70% agri and rural areas are so virgin that the businesses are now going there, and that's one of the reasons why you see more and more agri business, the government focusing on agri startups, and that's the reason why in this budget you will see agri accelerators being made. Shriyan, which is millets, are the future, and health. If you actually look at health, the health sector, the pharma sector, research is now happening. If you look at how the government is trying to focus on India, it is actually making a plan so that the fundamentals of India remain so strong that it is not affected by either the neighbors or one corporate or any one person, or any large research company which only does short selling and aims to hit out on our country. Those times have gone where one BBC report, one film, or one research paper would ensure that the entire economy tumbles down, because the right people are sitting who believe in the people of their country, the citizens, and their hard work. And that exactly is Sabka Prayas. The Prime Minister, if you actually look at him talking yesterday and him talking today, has categorically said that if this country is going to go ahead, it is going to go ahead because of people of this country, and the people of this country believe, because they are the ones who are invested in large corporates like Adani, and I'm sure they believe, and that's the reason why you see the prices now coming up, because we know as a country that across the world people will not want us to become the next superpower, but we as people of India who believe in India, who understand that India has the capacity, who understand and who believe that we have a leader that can take us and make us lead the world, believe not only in our people, in our practices, in the government, in Modi, but also in its own corporates. And of course, you need to take pride in your own corporates. I always say this, and it's so disheartening. We never said that, Jeff Bezos, we never said Elon Musk lost so much money. We never said that he was corrupt. But we always say this about our own corporates. It's very unfortunate. We need to believe in ourselves, and we need to believe in our own people.
Well, Shweta, on that optimistic note, I'd like to draw this conversation to a close. There are many other areas that we can get into. And, as we mentioned earlier, it's been a true pleasure bringing you back here on Swell. And, there are many conversations that we really hope to bring you back for again in the future. Until then, thanks again. Thanks for giving us your time. And you've been candid and very articulate today. So it's been a real pleasure again. Wonderful connecting with you on the Think Tank Swellcast, and we look forward to hearing from you again very soon on Swell.
Thank you, Karan. Being a technologist and coming from an entrepreneurial background, all I can say is voice and vernacular are the future. I'm here not only for voice, but for technology and for young people like you. Thank you so much for hosting me. Keep calling me back again, and I think we must do this more often. Thank you so much.